All right, boys, giddy up. 12-team Superflex PPR 1.75 for the tight end start 10. Scott, are you going Rashid Rice or a playoff 25 first? Go ahead, man.
So this is when I have to decide between a player and a pick. It is a 1-for-1. There's no leverage. I think you could probably argue both sides of this, given what your portfolio looks like. I'll say this about Rashid Rice. Like, he had a really great stretch, but you still have to kind of bet that he gets back to that range. And here's what I mean. I think it's fair. I mean, if you trust Jeff Mueller, who's our injury analyst at DD, basically says he has no concerns over Rashid Rice recovering from this injury, meaning this is not something that should linger for a year and affect his production. We already know about the suspension. So I'm comfortable saying he's going to recover and hopefully get back to a similar role that he was in. But I think here's the thing you have to analyze here. How much exposure do you want from Rashid Rice, understanding what could come up over the next 6 months? Meaning, if I pay a first, a flexible first, I know it says playoff 25 first, but if I pay a first, what do I expect to get back other than am I just betting he's going to come back and produce? And then, Shane, what does that production look like that has to exceed the value of a first to make me say I have to give up my first for a guy that is probably going to be a dead asset for the next 6 months? And here's the thing. Even if he recovers and they say full bill of health, draft season next year, Rashid Rice is healthy, we expect big things from him. Are you selling for a profit? Are you pivoting to an elite receiver using Rashid Rice? Like, does he get you anywhere else other than, cool, he's easily worth a first? So I kind of think like I want some exposure to Rice, but I'm not going out of my way to say this is how I want to get him. Can I get him using a receiver that I know is not ever going to extend into the range where I'm going to be worried about losing him? Can I get him for, say Michael Pittman in a second, something like that, where I go, if I lose on this,
Ayuk maybe, build him in.
I'm not even going to give names. I'll let Shane answer. I'm just going to say, can you stomach just giving a player that you're comfortable going is not going to burn me or make me feel like, man, I sold a little bit too cheap? That's where I'm hesitant to just pay first for Rashid Rice, because I'm making player bets. I don't make a lot of player bets. I make a lot of leverage bets and value bets, and he just seems like one that I'm going to need the right break to go my way, or I have to ride him out to production. And if you tell me production is my only path between now and next October, I just don't love having a ton of those assets sitting around. Shane.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Shane? What's up, Shane? What are your thoughts on Rashid Rice, man? What are you doing with any shares you have left? Or did you bail on all of them the other day?
I have none.
Shane pillaged everyone of his.
Yeah, you rammed through all of the trades that you made. But where you at on this trade? First off, 12-team Superflex PPR 1.75 for the tight end start 10. Rashid Rice or a playoff 25 first?
I mean, I hate being this guy, but it is going to depend on the context of my roster. Because again, just before the show, I wasn't offering 25 first, but I was sending offers for Rashid Rice in leagues where it made sense, right? I got, I think I was trying to get Rashid Rice and something for Tyreek Hill, for example. So I clearly would give up a 25 first for him if the situation is correct. I might even do it on a contending team if I have multiple firsts, but living in a world where I only have 125 first, let's just say I'm middle of the pack, I probably wouldn't use my bullet on that deer right there. I'd wait to shoot something else between the eyes.
Well said. Well said. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, welcome. You're going to hear us say start 8, start 9, start 10 a million times. So what we're talking about there is how many players you start each week in your lineup, not including kicker and defense. So the whole gist is start 8, start 9. Those are shallow leagues. So you want to consolidate any depth you have and get quote unquote hammers. And then 10 is kind of our baseline. 11, 12, that's where you're getting more deep to where the ancillary type players actually matter. So, all right, moving on.
Clay, can I add something to the Rashid Rice thing? Because I think it's pertinent. I've already seen it in the comments. But here's the thing. What dynasty game are you playing? And I'm asking that rhetorically to the crowd. What type of dynasty game are you playing? Because I'll tell you, if I have to hold Rashid Rice and the only thing I get is hopefully he can score me 18 points per game next season, You know what I've lost between now and then? A bunch of flexibility to do other shit with that money. That's like saying you can have money today or I'll give you a little bit more money in a year. What you're missing out is if you give me all the money today, can I use my skills to be able to move that into something bigger than what you're giving me in a year? Now, you may say, I play Dynasty. I still evaluate players. I still want to make strategic bets on certain players. But there's a lot of leagues where none of that shit matters. The league isn't a Dynasty league. It is a who has the most stuff to buy, who has the most money to spend in the next month. That's who wins the league. That's who gets ahead. And I'm just cautioning people before they take their one. And Shane said it perfectly. If you only have one first, think about what could come up over the next 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and you're spending it on a guy that's going to miss 6 months due to an injury. I don't care what he's going to be becoming or what he's going to become down the road. There's an opportunity cost, and that trade calculator doesn't measure that. It does not look at, well, geez, what else could you have done with that first? There might be a better deal. There might be a better player that gets injured, and all you have to pay is a first and another player. And guess what? You blew your first on Rashid Rice, and now you can't get Patrick Mahomes if he gets injured or Justin Jefferson if he gets injured because you don't have that first. So think about that. That never factors into the equation. It is just, okay, this thing costs $10. Well, guess what? There's sometimes where it's a great deal to get something for $10, but you know what? I have 10 of them. I don't need another one right now. I'd rather have the $10 because maybe something else comes up later that I can spend it on that gives me more value. So it's not even the first or Rice. There really has to be some context before you spend your one singular first on a player that's going to be out for 6 months.
No doubt. Good stuff there. Ethan, thank you very much for the hammer. And if you want to donate a hammer, go to buymeacoffee.com/tradesin5 and we will answer it on the stream. Ethan, thank you very much. Just fell to 1-3. Or I guess he may be 1-4 now. Yeah, exactly. With a team
maybe he had a bye. Did he have a bye?
He might have had a bye.
He had a bye.
That I felt extremely good about preseason. 8th in max points for, 3rd most points against. Feel like this team is good enough to sneak into the playoffs. Your thoughts? And it's a 12-team Superflex start 10. It's PPR 1.5 for the tight ends. Burrow, Caleb, Darnold, McCarthy at QB. Chase, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Olave, Wandale at wide receiver. Running backs are JT, Achan, Moss, Laporta, and Njoku at tight ends. Has a late 25 first, an early 25 third, all 26 picks, and 2 extra 26 seconds. Shane, what do you think here, man? So we got a 12-team Superflex start 10, small tight end premium. Felt good about this team preseason, but what are you doing with this one? He thinks he could sneak under the playoffs. Your thoughts?
Burrow, Caleb, Darnold. I mean, he's got a good quarterback room. I can't believe I'm saying that about Darnold. Darnold really bringing up the rear there. Case, AJB. Wilson until he gets ethered by Devontae Adams in the next 48 hours. A good room. So he's 1-3. I guess we should have asked, is your league, and we need to start asking this, does the last playoff spot go to the dude with the most potential points, dude or woman, lady, ma'am, whatever you want to call them, miss, do you get in the playoffs with the highest scoring points at the last spot? Because I'm a lot more apt to go for things when that's the case, because I bet you this team's scoring pretty highly.
It definitely won in week 5. Burrow, Chase, Garrett Wilson. That's like 120 points combined. So you're good there.
I mean, I don't know what happened last week. I know they might be 1-4, but they
definitely won in week 5 if they played those players.
Yeah,
I would guess.
I wouldn't have been bailing at 1-3 anyway. Not on this roster. The roster's too good. It is too good. I mean, you've had some bad luck in Njoku. Njoku's getting hurt a lot. Yeah, lost AJ Brown for what, 3 games, 2 games, 2 games, and then a bye. So you got him back. Olave was off last night apparently, but no, you've got a good team. Like, this is a good roster. This is not a team that I'm bailing on it. Definitely not.
No, it's not injured, right?
No.
Yeah,
no, it's got a couple. It's got AJB.
JB. H-Chan, yeah. I'm just thinking about my OG team. It's getting freaking smoked right now. Go ahead, Scott.
No, I just think that this is probably a team that it's 2-3. It's probably top 6 or higher in points. So I guess if you said, can I not make a run? What are you doing to help yourself not make a run? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying sell everything or panic, but like, it's one of those teams where, yeah, technically right now it's in the middle, but when you have Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, Joe Burrow, Devon Achane, like Garrett Wilson, you don't punt that because they're not performing in a 5-week stretch. Doesn't mean you're going to win. Like, you're too far gone to give up on this team. You know, like, what would you, if I said, Shane, rebuild this team, it would largely include all the players that you already have.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm going to rebuild it. So that's one of those, like,
great team.
You put a cover on like, I don't know, a piece of wood, you take it off and it's exactly the same. And you're like, oh, look what I've done. I made it new. Like, there's not a lot to change here.
I would hedge my bets. I would sell Sam Darnold. You probably don't need Sam Darnold. I would sell a couple pieces that could come up where maybe you can live without for next year. If Jonathan Taylor comes back, I would be fine selling him and just living without. Like, there's moves you can make, but it's not I'm going to rebuild now or I'm going to punt. But then I go, what would I want? Well, pretty much the shell of the team I already have. So like, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't kind of try to win. There is no tanking to the bottom with this type of team. So you might as well half-ass try to win, even if you have some bad luck with head-to-head wins.
Scott, this one's for you. So we have a hammer from Spicy Taco. Oh, I love it. It says, hey, fellas, love the channel and content. Thank you very much. Rebuilding. This is a 12-team Superflex, no tight end premium, start 10. So we're assuming PPR. Kyler, Caleb, Bo Nix, Dalton at quarterback. Running back is just trash cans. Rice, Rome, Ladd, QJ at wide receiver. Pitts, Ertz, Fant at tight end. Has 325 firsts, 2 seconds, and 226 firsts. Sent Darnold away for a mid to late 25 second. And then he's got 2 other trades that he did as well. So let's take this one by one. Scott, this is a 12-team Superflex, PPR, no tight end premium, start 10. What do you think about this first one? Sent Darnold away for a mid to late 25 seconds.
I mean, today
that's
probably
awfully cheap, right?
But we don't know when he made the trade or she made the trade. It could have been after week 1. Like, we don't know. I'm assuming it was sometime before.
Yeah. This was only 4 or 5 days ago.
Okay, so you sold a little cheap on Darnold, but you know what? You got a first for Justin Fields, so you kind of recouped a little bit of value there, probably getting a first for Fields. The Braylon Allen, fine. I mean, Braylon Allen's probably worth a second. Other people would say, he's worth more, but given his situation in your circumstance, I'm fine taking a pick instead of having Braylon Allen. So I think you're on the right track. Maybe you sold a little light on Darnold, depending on when you did the deal.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, Scott. I'll read the second two as well. So the second trade was sent Fields for a 26 first, and let's just call it mid. And then the third trade was sent Braylon Allen to the Brees owner for a late 25 second. So Shane, feel free to chime in as well on either of these trades, but yeah.
Braylon Allen to the Brees owner for a late 25 second. I'm fine with that. Sent Justin Fields for a 26 first. I like that as well. Sent Darnold away for a mid to late 25 second. I do not like that. So you won 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, like Meatloaf said. If any kids are in here listening, they have no idea what I'm talking about. But 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So yeah, I like deal 2 and 3. Do not like deal 1 even a little bit.
So looking at you don't like deal 1. Looking at his team, since this was, I guess, a couple days delayed, it's a single. I was about to say it's a single taco. It's a single hammer from Spicy Taco. Scott, take a quick peek at this. What other moves are you doing? Give me one other move you're doing that you're prioritizing. Go ahead.
Any first for Bo Nix, 25 or 26. Probably not getting a 25, but any first for Bo Nix. Any third for Andy Dalton. And then you're well on your way for getting some of those points off your roster. I mean, Zach Ertz is another guy where you probably can't get anything for him, but he can hurt you more than he can help you. So that's one where mean, you guys have seen me do it in leagues. You know what? If I can't trade Mike Williams or Zach Ertz or Brandon Cooks, guess where they go? The waiver wire. Because they're actually hurting me by being on my team. They put up, Ertz gives you a 6 for 70, and you go, that didn't help me. It actually hurt me because it could hurt my potential points. So be thinking about the long-term moves, and sometimes you just can't get anything for players. There's just not a buyer for some of these guys, and got to make the tough decision to either combine them in a deal or get rid of them. So that should be your focus, to grind those roster spots. Literally every player you pick up, you got to tell yourself, can I get a third for him? Can I get a third for, hey, Jake Hayner, you might be able to get a third for now if he starts. That's a guy that I've seen on waiver wires a ton. Like, that's the type of player you pick up when you cut, somebody that you can't trade. So there you go.
Yep. Okay, let's go to a super chat from the crowd. So if you want a super chat,
real quick. Yeah, I just want to put this out there. Care about all of your questions. Truly, I do. But I care about the super chats a lot more. So anyway.
No, super chats, we like hammers more. YouTube takes 30% of the super chats.
That's fine. I don't discriminate because I don't see. I'm not like that, Clay. I don't discriminate. If you want to, that's your thing. But super chats, hammers, whatever, Venmo.
We just want to answer people's questions, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's go to and if you want a super chat, there's like a little dollar symbol, I think, icon next to the like button. Hit the like while you're at it.
Yeah, hit like and share.
Like and share, you got it. So Shane, let's start with you on this one. It's a $10 super chat from Brandon Cassidy. Appreciate it. So one of two, and you got both of them. 12-team Superflex PPR 2.0 for the tight ends. You've got a 0.2 point per carry, and it's a start 11. So this is a solid format here. Burrow, Herbert, Daniel Jones at QB. You've got James Conner, Aaron Jones, Shavonte, Brooks, and Trash at running back rather. Nico, Devontae Smith, Pickens, Christian Watson, Lockett. And then, Shane, you have Bowers, Kittle, and Freiermuth at tight end. And this is a 2.0. Yeah, kind of frustrating at the same time.
What did Freiermuth do this week?
That's a traded for him, though, for this format. But, yeah.
I traded for him, and he did nothing for me. But, yeah, dude, look at Bowers, Kittle, and Muth. Oh.
Yeah, it moved.
And it's an 11. So it's start 11. So you could actually, legally go, yeah, there's no reason I shouldn't start these three. Anyhow.
So, two mid-25 firsts. He says not his own. I'm 3-2, no real favorites in the league, 9 teams contending. Moves to make, hold, and see. Playing the 2 tankers the next 2 weeks to get through the Nico injury. Thank the fantasy gods. Yeah, that's key, man, when that happens. And when it's sad to talk about Nico like that. But, Shane, real quick, let me clean this up. This is a deep format. 12-team Superflex, PPR 2.0 for the tight ends, and every rush attempt is 0.2, and it's a start 11. So it's a legit format. Shane, the question was, basically, what's it do with this thing?
So whatever deity you pray to, Buddha, Yahweh, Jesus, whatever the Indian goddess is, I can't think of her name right now. Be thankful that you're playing the crap teams the next 2 weeks, because you can just delay your decision for 2 more weeks or rack up 2 more wins. Look, I was going to say you need a quarterback, except Daniel Jones is playing really well. Burrow is a top 5 quarterback right now, Scott, something like that. Shiva, thank you. And Herbert is technically a quarterback, so that's good. You are going to be a little hurt with, Jones likely to miss a couple weeks at least. So obviously the bye, and then the next week, I haven't heard anything about John Brooks. I don't even know if he's coming back this year. It's a good roster for start 11, because you at 2.0 tight end premium, you're starting Kittle, Muth, and Bowers, and none of those 3 are you stretching. You know what I mean? You don't have to it's not like you're making a hard decision. Like, oh, should I start Muth over? Well, Christian Watson's not even playing, but you know what I mean? I like this team. Apparently I'm super friendly tonight. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to stop complimenting people, but I like this team fine. You have 2 mid-25 firsts. I say, see where you are in 2 weeks, because you're too good probably to tank. So get to 5-2. or at least hopefully 5-2, and then see who else, because there's 9 teams contending right now. I'm guessing 2 or 3 of those are going to be less contending in 2 weeks. So I think
so there's no real favorites. Yeah, no real favorites in the league. That was kind of a question, Scott, if you want to chime in. Moves to make, hold, and see. And yeah, it looks like he's got a couple layups the next couple weeks to get through injuries. Any thoughts on this team? I'm throwing it back up. Deep format here.
Yeah, and in a deep format where it's 2 PPR for tight ends, I mean, if you have guys like Tyler Conklin, Colby Parkinson, guys that are getting targets, like if they give you, I mean, look at Tyler Conklin. He's had a couple games where you look up and you go, oh, all he had was 6 for 80. And then you look at your 2 PPR leagues and you're like, damn, he scored 21 points. You know, and that, you know how hard it is for a receiver on like a not a good team to get 21 points? Like that's difficult. So I think in those formats, the deeper ones, even I do it like, cool, I have Cole Kmet, Pat Freiermuth, and Tyler Conklin. I'm just starting them all because sure, I'm going to get a 2 or a 4, but when I get the 20, I'm not pissed because I'm only starting one tight end and I picked wrong with all of them. Look at Kyle Pitts last week. I sat him in a couple leagues because they were leagues where I go, okay, who am I going to start? Him or, you know, Jake Ferguson. It's like, I'm not going to start Kyle Pitts. I should have just flexed him, but the premium wasn't high enough. So that's where you get into trouble. So I'll just say this to Brandon. The 9 teams contending makes it interesting because that probably means that there might be one seller that is willing to move right now. Maybe there's another one that's like, doesn't have much to sell or whatever. But when I know there's 9 teams contending like that, like, I hate to say it, guys, but a lot of my teams, you know what I determine whether I'll make a move on or not? Do I need him this week? Sorry, Jordan Mason's a good buy, but you know what? I'm not paying you now because guess what? I don't need him in my lineup, and I don't need him to beat the 10th place team in the league this week. If you can trade him to somebody else, I had this with somebody last week. They were desperately trying to send me Jordan Mason all morning on Sunday. And it was essentially like, dude, I would be putting him in the lineup over like Chase Brown. You know, like, that's not worth it to me in a start 12 to take a player like that I want to start out and put him in, but also I have to pay 2 seconds to get Jordan Mason today when I don't need him to win this week. And I'm just calling that person's bluff. And guess what? Sent me the offer again this week and I declined it again. But here's the thing. He couldn't sell him to anybody else. So I'm essentially calling the league's bluff to go, there isn't a market for this guy that you're trying to sell. Now, maybe you get burned, but with 9 teams contending, who's selling? You know what I mean? Like, what's the rush to make the move unless another team falls out of it and then you capture the market that comes up later on?
The 9 teams contending thing is so awesome to hear, though, because that means the market is active. It's all hell. So you're talking about kind of the week-to-week dynasty game. Do I need him this week?
But who's selling? Like that's too much of a. There's 9 buyers and how many? I mean, a lot of our leagues, dude. There might be a team that should sell and they don't, and then there's a team that would sell but they don't have anything. So it's like it's still. I get you. Like what
it's a very
market is, but yeah, the fact that it's active in the first place is a positive. If there's 9 teams that think they're contending, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. So generally a positive. All right, good stuff there. Thank you for that super chat, Brandon, I believe it was. So we got a hammer from Futility. Thank you very much. This is a Shane 10-team, 1 QB, PPR, 1.75 for the tight ends, start 9. Okay, so it's shallow, but it is a decent tight end premium. Burrow, Kyler at quarterback, Brees, JT, Javonte, Spears, Singletary at running back, Marv, Ayuk, London, Addison, Keon, Christian Watson, and Shaheed. Has Ingram, Henry at tight end. No 25 first or 26 first. Currently 0-5, 10 by 9. Okay, I just added that back in because there was the inbox offers here to make it easier to read. Inbox offers, give JT and Marv. Let me read it here real quick. It would be helpful for people who are listening.
Fine. For the audio audience on the Spotify, you can check out Dynasty Trades in 5.
Yeah, good call.
Although if they're listening to this, they already know that. So I guess for the visual audience, if you're watching this later or now and you just want to listen to us because you're scared or you're intimidated by my good looks, just check us out on Spotify. Anyway, sorry, finish the question.
That's what it is. I didn't
Shane in
realize.
high school. It's Shane in high school. The person that is going to ask him out as they're approaching, he's going, no.
Wait, so somebody was proactively going up to Shane.
No, he knows they're coming up to ask him, to do this or no, before they even get any words out. No.
Are you going to prom? No, I don't believe in prom. I'm a Jehovah. Sorry. Sorry, that's the question.
Yeah, we'll see if that comment garners any attention. I'm gonna.
But Jehovah's don't celebrate. Jehovah's don't celebrate holidays and things like that. Social events.
No, you are super religious too. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt on that one. Futility. We're going to have to restart this real quick. Shane, 10 team, 1 QB, PPR, tight end premium, start 9. And the inbox trades were give JT and Marv, get Waddle an early 25 first, his 26 first back, and a 26 second. So let's start with that one. Give JT, Marv, get Waddle a couple firsts.
No. I would not give up Marv for 2 firsts in normal size leagues. In a condensed mini league like this, 10 by 9, I am absolutely not giving them up for 2 firsts. And then JT and Waddle, they wash each other out for me. They just whatever, that's a wash. But no, I'm not giving Marv up for that.
Yeah. Second offer is give JT, get a late 25 first and 2 late 26 seconds.
And what was his running back room? Because this one I'm more apt to do.
Yeah,
running back.
RB room is JT, Javonte, Spears, Singletary.
So he's in a position, where he'd still have Javonte. The what do you call those people? Denver plays this week, right? I mean, you'd have Javonte and Spears. Obviously, Singletary's probably not going to go. Yeah, I'll move JT for that because I don't. JT's not going to be the difference between you winning and losing a title. And you have Breece Hall, who's clearly sitting right there that I completely just blacked out of my mind.
No, that's my bad because you were like, "Hey, check out the room," and I missed Breece. He was the first.
Isn't this team 0-5?
Something, right?
Yeah.
Does this team give a shit who they're playing this week or how they're doing this season? I mean, we're 0-5. You know what I mean?
Yeah, either way. Yeah. Plus, you have
chip in the chair.
Get rid of JT. Come on, get rid of JT. Yeah, do it. You can flip JT, move JT for the picks, but hold on to Marv.
Okay. Yeah, rock on. All right, let's keep on boogieing here. Let's go to a starred comment. We've got a super chat from Log. What's up, man? Hope you're well. So this is a 12-team Superflex start 10. It is a half PPR, full PPR for the tight ends. Mayflower.
That's the team name, like Drake May and what's his name? Zay Flowers.
Okay.
And Mayflower was a boat that people came to America on.
What were the other boats?
There's no chance I know that because I was about to say the Nina and
the Santa Maria and the Pinta.
No, that was the wrong
Santa Maria.
Yeah,
wrong travel.
Yeah. No, this was the very white people, the Pilgrims that were coming over, not Columbus. So anywho.
This is quite the lesson in history and religion tonight. So May Herbert at quarterback, Chase Brown at running back, Flowers, Polk, Jamo at wide receiver, Bowers, Komet has 8 firsts between 25 and 26.
Wow.
Here's an inbox offer. Trade Bowers, the 25-201. For McBride and a late 25 first. Says, think I'll take it for the better pick. Just wanted some opinions. Good luck, fellas, or good looks, fellas, as always. Appreciate it, man. What do you think here, Scott? So you're trading Bowers, the 201, and you're getting McBride and a late 25 first. So basically just moving up a couple spots and swapping Bowers and McBride.
I feel like we're trying to grind the edge here and look at the Bowers and McBride and say they're the same exact thing. And so I'm getting the pick upgrade because we notice how we said the 201 and then a late 25 first. So I assume we know the 201 team is just a complete gutter bag, right? Like I know it's going to be the worst team. I had to bring back gutter bag from last week, but we assume that it's clearly the 201 versus the late first is the 110, 111. I mean, I would tend to lean with the guy I think is more movable, which I think is Bowers. I know it's a pick upgrade. It could be a 3-pick upgrade. But you know what? How, especially with all the picks we have here already, are we really that good at deciding that the 110 versus the 201, who the better pick is? No, we're pretty bad at that.
And we're not looking at a stack. You know, Kyler isn't on this team.
We're looking truly at what I talked about earlier. Who do I think there is a world where the community will just attach a monster price to, and it's Brock Bowers, not Trey McBride. So that is not worth 3-4 slots where if I'm stuck making the pick, I'm taking a 60-40 bet that I'm going to end up with the better player. If that, for what I think is a massive change in terms of future opportunity with the player. So I am sticking with Bowers. No question asked here. I know it's sexy to get that other first. Trust me, I've been there where you have 8 firsts and you want to get another first because it looks great because now you have 6 of them instead of 5, but just not worth it here. Keep the 201.
Yeah, keep it.
So let's go to a hammer from Eric L006. Thank you very much. Shane, or let's start with you on this one, Scott. Or this is yours. 10 teams, start 8, home league, 1 QB PPR. So again, if anybody needs a refresher on the start 8, start 9, you know, depth stuff, this is about as shallow as it gets. So we're going to try to consolidate whatever we see. Looks like it's already pretty stacked. So Mahomes at quarterback, Bijan, Achane, Singletary at running back, Jefferson, Neighbors, Chase, DK, Rashid Rice, London, and then at tight end, Kelsey and McBride, all picks plus an extra 26 first, which Eric says is projected early. What to do with Mahomes? Worried about the trends in the league today and passing volume, or am I overreacting? What is his value in this shallow format? He says it is 4 point per passing touchdown. Enjoy all the content, guys. Hey, appreciate you, Eric. Super shallow format, like you said, 10 teams, start 8, 1 QB. What are we doing with Mahomes here, Scott?
Well, Shane, in a 10-team start 8, 1 QB, 4 point per passing touchdown, you are getting absolutely smoked at quarterback every week against many, many others, including other pocket passers where you're like, I would just rather have those guys over Pat Mahomes. So he is definitely your weak spot. But then I look at what you have, and I mean, okay, your running backs can be weak spots, but we could chase running back production and try to avoid injuries. You can't have enough to outrace that. But then I look at Jefferson, Neighbors, Chase. I mean, you have literally the top 3 receivers in Dynasty right there on your team, so you can't get any better there. You have Metcalf, Rice, London. So, I mean, 2 of those guys could get traded if it meant you had to give up those to move
and
Mahomes.
Let's do that.
I think the key is you probably want to try to get a little value with Mahomes in the trade. Otherwise, you're going to the other teams that are probably beating your ass at quarterback every week, and you're going, do you want to give me Lamar Jackson for Rashid Rice or Drake London? And they're probably like, I'm starting this receiver, and yeah, he's not Drake London, but like I'm getting Mahomes and I'm giving you 12 points per game difference in Lamar Jackson. So
let me cut you off here, Scott. In this kind of format, aren't you always trying to contend? Like a rebuild is so much shorter. I mean, because you can catch up so much more quickly.
Dude,
so don't you want to go to the Rashid Rice? You take Rashid Rice and go to the shit teams and just buy some points.
I don't know what Jefferson is averaging, but I have 3 receivers that are averaging like 21 points per game. There's no, like, I'm not going to contend. So you got to do whatever you can to fix your lineup in a start 8. I mean, this team was great on paper to start the year because you had Mahomes with Kelsey and Rashid Rice. But obviously Mahomes is not performing. Rashid Rice is done. So I think it might be time to explore. Shane, if I put Mahomes and Rice on the block, what quarterback can I get? 2 for 1. I'll give you Mahomes, and I'll tack on Rashid Rice, who someone in the chat earlier said is a top 8 dynasty asset, and maybe, but in a league like this, you know how hard it's going to be to move Rashid Rice for what his value could be to your lineup? Almost impossible. So what quarterback could you get?
Can you get Burrow to go with your Chase?
That's what I was thinking is probably Burrow, but I mean, Burrow's running super hot right now too.
Yeah.
But do we think, again, I don't want pocket passers. Do we think that's going to continue?
In a 4-point per passing touchdown, the only benefit is he is correlated with Chase. That's the only benefit. I mean, he's still going to probably outscore Mahomes. Yeah. But do I want to pay Rice for the upgrade? I mean, I'm starting at Lamar.
Daniel Jones. What about instead of getting? Maybe we go the other way. Daniel Jones in a 4-point.
I like Daniel Jones. Oh my God, I just said that.
I like him better, equal to Mahomes at his price in this format. I still don't think it offers you a ton of difference-making production. I mean, I'm going to the Lamar manager and the Jaden Daniels manager. And then I'll go down, I'll go to Josh Allen, et cetera. I'll go down the line until I get to probably Burrow. But you're getting an offer of Mahomes and Rice for all of those. And if they say I need to add on a first, shit, I'd add on a 26 first. Why not? Like, you have the nuts at receiver. You have 3 guys that are literally scoring 21 points per game. You can't go, I'll just take advantage of those guys by riding out QB 15 the rest of the year. Like, you got to make a big move, I think. 10 by 8, yeah.
Yeah. And what Scott said there was smart. Start at the top. I was mentioning how you want hammers in that shallow format. I mean, yeah, DJ, you could get cute, do something fun there, but yeah, start at the
Burrow is the settle option. Burrow is the guy you settle on.
Yeah, and a 4-point.
Versus you got.
Right. Okay, let's go to a super chat from the crowd here. This is from Irish Jedi. Good to see you here, man. Irish Jedi 423. Thank you very much for the $20 super chat. Shane, we're going to start with you here. 12-team Superflex, PPR, no tight end premium, start 11. Jaden Daniels, Murray, Dak at quarterback. Excellent. Henry, Jacobs, Jones, Singletary at running back. We have JJ, Puka, Nico, Ayuk, Evans, Jesus. And Marv. What the hell is Marv doing at the end there?
And you just throw Marv in at the end, like
just like jammed in there.
Yeah.
So let's tweak that. He's got JJ, Marv, Nico, Puka, Ayuk, Evans, and then has McBride at tight end. 225 first, 325 seconds. Hit with the injury bug and trying to figure out how to handle, who to target / advice. Thank you very much, Irish Jedi. What are you thinking here, Shane? 12-team Superflex, start 11. There's no tight end premium, but it's pretty legit in terms of depth.
Look, and just so you know, I'm not pressed to move Puka and Nico, but I would literally just turn the standings upside down, go to the bottom dwellers, the bottom feeders, the worst of the league, and see if they have one player. Scott, that's his name. I don't know. I was about to call him Joe for some reason. Scott was talking about it earlier, right? Like, when a player.
Wait. I gotta stop you. You were about to call Scott Joe?
Yeah, I don't know. My brain's fried.
Okay. Anyway, I thought you were gonna have something funny. Go ahead.
No. But yeah, like, can I move Nico for Chase? Can I move Puka for CD Lamb? Something like that. Like, I'm going to those teams, the bottom feeders, to see what they have. Now, it's also start 11. So if they don't have that tier, I guess in theory, I could go, well, what can I get AJ Brown for Nico and maybe a little extra, maybe just a little, not a lot. I don't, just that much, maybe that much more than AJ Brown. I mean, that's kind of what you have to do. It's either that or just hold on till not next year, till, Puka and Nico come back, which could be 3 to 4 more weeks, I guess. Puka we're talking about November, so 4 weeks, right? That's how math works. If you wanted to, if one of those first is late, again, same thing. Like, is there a player 2 that I want to buy because it's start 11?
I mean, here's what he's mentioned. He's missing Aaron Jones, who's injured. Devin Singletary injured. Puka injured. Nico Collins now injured. McBride missed a game. Like, you're going to deal with injuries, but A team like this, you have the first. I mean, you're rolling with Dak Prescott as your QB3, so you always can pull from your QB well to sell. If you ever had an option where you could tear down or you could liquidate a quarterback, you have that option too, given that you have Daniels and Kyler Murray ahead of him. So, I mean, I'm looking at this team truly when I have a team like this that has this many assets, an extra first, 2 extra seconds, a third quarterback that's considered still top 10, top 12, meaning I know I could squeeze extra pieces out of that if I wanted to move off the QB. That's a move that I don't have to make, but if I did, I know I can get starters. You know who I'm going after in this league? Give me Terry McLaurin. What do I got to pay? I'm starting him every week in a start 11. I have Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
Can I give a second? And can I give, do you have a filler player, a guy with some hopium on your bench where you can go, like I had a similar situation. I wouldn't do it here because you already have Marvin Harrison and McBride, but I have a start 12 using the Trinity tool. You know who I kind of want to buy some a little bit of? Trying to start 12, start 13. Give me some Michael Wilson where I have Kyler. So I sent a third, Javon Baker and Luke McCaffrey, just young hopium shit. And give me a guy that I'm willing to just start and live with the results. And like, that's what I'm doing here. So, I mean, maybe it's
Did
Terry
you get a
McLaurin.
response on that?
They accepted it because it's a team that had Michael Wilson, but I'm giving, you know who I'm giving him? Javon Baker, Luke McCaffrey, young guys. Like, can you give a second and a third and Jermaine Burton for Terry McLaurin? Like, well, somebody that goes, ooh, that's a young piece. Like, try to throw in a player like that. Fill your starters that way.
Spot too, right?
Yes. Fill your starters that way. Like, and target guys where you know, hey, this team, I'm already riding Jaden Daniels. I'm never going to bench him until he has a bye. Might as well get Terry McLaurin, right? Like, my ceiling is higher with the move that I paid a fair market price for. That would be the guy I would target.
Good shit there. Okay, Shane, we're starting with you on this. 3 hammers from Shane. Read this. 3 hammers from whom? Go ahead.
Hey, would you blow me?
No.
Rude. You didn't say earmuffs.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking start saying earmuffs now. Like, really?
As you drop the F word before
it's way too late for earmuffs. Way past that point.
So we have I always think of Hollywood Vols. 3 hammers from Hey Would You Blow Me. This is a 10-team Superflex, start 10, no tight end premium. Lamar, Darnold, Daniel Jones, and Bryce Young at quarterback. Kyron, Ford, Rashad White, Tracy at running back. Puka, Godwin, Higgins, Flowers, Addison, Leggett, and Jennings at wide receiver. Ingram and Kraft at tight end. No first until 2027, Shane. That makes you sad. Trying to compete and stay afloat until Puka returns. Very inactive league. Any moves? So to clean it up, 10-team Superflex, start 10. There's no tight end premium. What are your thoughts here, man? Trying to compete and stay afloat.
What do you have to entice people? Like, what can you flash them? Like, what's the nipple you can show your league to get them active and moving? Because I don't see a lot of nipples here. You know what I mean? I see Puka. This is a very serious show. Come on. I see Puka. I see Puka, and that's the sexiest thing on your roster. So if you're trying to hold on using until Puka gets back, that's the one dude that could probably make a move. You can make a move with, and Lamar, obviously.
And T and Flowers.
No, they don't. Those are just dudes. You know what I mean? Like, sure, some weeks the Zay Flowers guys that really love Zay Flowers come out of the woodwork, and it's always, after last week. No one loves him when he's going, 4 for 40 on 7 targets, but everybody loves them and has always loved him when he does what he did last week. So those aren't dudes that move anything. Puka's a dude that can get some traction. So is Lamar. The
only guys you're building equity with on this team are Lamar and Puka. And Puka, you're going to get reduced equity because he's injured. Everybody else is as good as I love a lineup where I can throw in Godwin, Higgins, Flowers, Addison. I'm probably guaranteed to get at least 20-point game out of one of those 4 every single week.
Yeah.
But it's not
start 10. You're not gonna win with that, right?
Well, they're fine. They're fine.
Godwin was.
They're fine if you're just sitting and forgetting and starting them, but you need other players to carry you. And that's the risk of, okay, so you're going to down tier from Lamar, who's scoring like a quarterback and a half, For what? You're going to have to take some risk. Could you down tier off of, what could you add on to Jordan Love that would make you want to tier off Lamar? What would you need back, Shane? In a 10 by 10, given the positional advantage that Lamar has right now over everybody else but Daniels, what would you have to add to Jordan Love for you to tier off of Lamar on this team?
More than someone's probably going to want to pay.
I'd want, honestly, if I'm making a trade where I'm not Shane, if I'm trading Lamar and I have no first until 2027, I'm addressing that. Personally, I just wanted to chime in. I want a 25 or 26 first if I'm trading
Jordan Love, 25 first. Would you do that for Lamar?
Yeah. You know what? Yes, I would.
Like, isn't that the type of deal this team has to make if they want a chance? Because they have no other options. Like, you can't pull from your pick bank because you don't have any, and your best asset that's not a quarterback is injured. So, I mean, what do you do? Like, this feels like a team that just continues to kind of get a little worse, and you have no flexibility to do anything. You're going to probably have to split Lamar. He's the one piece you can split right now before it's too late.
You do not really have movable assets, which, that happens. Sometimes you build a good producing team, but just no one likes them.
Okay, let's keep on moving here. Good stuff. I just saw the most hilarious avatar on a super chat that we'll eventually get to. Okay, let's unstar that one so I don't get confused. Hunter, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Scott, we'll start with you. I'm wishing now I wouldn't have sold my rookie shares before the season. Thomas for a 25 first, Neighbors for Diggs and a first. Feels like I lost so much value making good process trades at the time. Thoughts? This is actually excellent. So Hunter says, yeah, there's some seller's remorse. Sold BTJ for a 25 first. Let's just assume mid. Neighbors for Diggs and a first. Let's talk them off the ledge. Well, sometimes
I hate to say it, Hunter, but Neighbors for Diggs and a first probably wasn't ever really a great process trade. That was one where you had to really be buying into Diggs and the offense. And you know what? If that's a high first, that's not an awful trade, right? Like, if that's a top 3 pick next year, like, that's not a terrible trade. Are you going to get another Malik Neighbors? Probably not, but I don't hate that if it is a high first and I'm still getting Diggs' production. The other trade, you know what? Take Brian Thomas and replace him with Xavier Worthy for a 25 first. Are you feeling good about that trade? 100%. So, like, sometimes you could have gotten that one right and you could have gotten it wrong. You know what I mean? Like, that's what happens when you're trading one for ones. I think that's probably why, if we go fast forward to rookie drafts in 2025, if there's a pick that I just don't want to make the pick, I'd rather just trade that 110 for a future first. You know what I mean? Like, you do now have to make the decision when you draft Brian Thomas. You let all of the news and influence get to you, and then you go, okay. Like, I remember the reports in the preseason that Brian Thomas, I don't know if you remember it, Shane. Do you remember that Brian Thomas is a little slow to pick up the offense? You remember that one?
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of bugs.
No, but that's the kind of stuff. That's the stuff that is going to happen to almost every rookie. And if at that time you said I sold Brian Thomas for a 25 first with how we're hyping up the 25 picks, that's not a bad trade, right? And if you just hold Xavier Worthy for a random 25 first after week 1, people are going, oh my God, he's the wide receiver 2 in the class. You know what I mean? And then fast forward 4 weeks, and now you're regretting the Thomas trade, and you're like, damn, I would take a first for Xavier Worthy right now. So, I mean, I'm not going to beat myself up on that first one. The second one probably just wasn't great process. Even though it was a leverage deal, it's still the second piece you're getting is Stephon Diggs. He's a 30-year-old receiver. So that one I'm never going to say. I don't think we would have ever said sell Neighbors for Diggs in a late first. That never felt like a good process trade. So.
Merch.
Yeah. I just posted I just posted in the chat a link to our new merch store. So you see the hat on my head, this process over players flex fit. Look at how sexy that is. That just came in yesterday. So support the channel. It's a long time coming since we got merch that I can feel proud to talk about. So yeah, check it out. It's in the description and it's also in the chat. So any super chat action, hammers, disregard that. Get some sweet merch, man. There's a bunch of cool shit on there. There's a nice little like process over players, like little whiskey glass. Nice. Check it out. Okay. So let's keep moving to a hammer here. We have, yeah, has to be a blurry Shane read here. Shane, 3 hammers from whom here?
Drake
Nice.
Alvarez, Katie's.
Drake Alvarez, Katie's. I'll go with Drake Alvarez, Kate's. I don't know. Both work. Thank you very much for the 3 hammers either way. 12-team Superflex, tight end premium, start 11. Scott, we're starting with you here. Kyler, T-Law, Geno, May at quarterback. Brees, Camaro, Walker, Charbonnet, Braylon Allen, Chase Brown, Hunt at running back. We have Garrett Wilson, Ayuk, Metcalf, Evans, and Adams at wide receiver. Pitts, Ingram, Schultz at tight end. 325 first, has a second, and 226 first. None of these picks are his. So most teams are thin at quarterback. So the most realistic upgrade at QB2 I can make is to trade a rebuilder for Mahomes. However, he only wants draft picks. What's a reasonable amount to pay for Mahomes? So let's assume, yeah, what's a reasonable amount in terms of draft picks? That's what the Mahomes owner wants. What are you paying draft picks wise to get Mahomes? This is a 12-team Superflex start 11.
I mean, I think the sobering reality is Geno Smith is outscoring Mahomes by like 3 points per game, and Trevor Lawrence and Mahomes are dead even in production. So, I mean, sure, I'll give you my latest first in 26 and Trevor Lawrence for Pat Mahomes. And the person is going to say they don't want that, right? Because all they want is draft picks. But I'm not sending multiple firsts for Mahomes on this team when I arguably have 3 QBs that are just as good as him. So, I mean, it's not, I don't want to buy Mahomes unless I'm getting credit for Trevor Lawrence in the trade. I'm not looking to give here 2+ firsts to get Mahomes. No interest. Did he just lag out his entire thing?
No, I heard him say, no, here you go. And like he was about to make some like epic comment and it just went robot. Go ahead, dude. Go ahead, Blurry Shane.
No, definitely not an epic robot. Definitely not an epic comment, but like, what would you pay for the QB 18 or the QB 20? Because Pat Mahomes is QB 19. So that's what I would pay for him.
Are his lips moving like 5 seconds behind the audio for you?
100%, but I still love you.
No, that's you guys. You guys go see a doctor. You might be having a stroke. Go see a doctor.
I think it's better, but
not me.
Basically, what you're saying, Shane, is do you have interest in moving your flexible draft picks for a QB4? Who, I mean, yeah, sure, he's probably your QB2, but it just doesn't make sense, right?
No.
You just called Mahomes a QB4, Scott.
On this roster where it stands today, I'm sure he's going to be your 3rd most valuable dynasty asset, maybe your 2nd most. But what's the motivation to buy him unless I'm getting credit for a quarterback that I'm trading? I'm not interested in going, I have 225 first and a 26 first. Right. Here, you can have all 3 of those first, and now I have 4 quarterbacks. What's the point?
Yeah.
Yep, good stuff. Shane, we got 3 hammers from B Mormon 7. It says, gents, 10-team Superflex, start 10, 2 of which are tight end, Shane. No tight end premium mentioned. Goff, Herbert, Fields, McCarthy at quarterback. Dobbins, Warren, Bucky, Irving, and Trash at running back. Jefferson, Wilson, Adunze, Wicks, Myers, Jennings, and D-Hop at wide receiver. Pitts, Freiermuth, and Ertz at tight end. Picks-wise has, in 25, 2 firsts projected early and mid. So 1 early, 1 mid. 2 seconds, 1 I'm not going to mention the 3rd. Two firsts in 26 and a couple seconds. Own This is so bad. I think I actually wrote this one too, probably.
It's just, he
No,
has
this
his
was a
own
copy paste. Coming off of back-to-back chips, so decided to tear it down with the aging RB room. Okay. How do you balance rebuilding through the draft versus young players already in the league with upside? Aside from selling old vets, any other type of moves you consider? Activity level is low to think about here, Shane. Let me clean up my mess. 10-team Superflex, start 10. It's 2 tight end. So let's mention which tight ends he has. Pitts, Freiermuth, and Ertz. What are you doing with this team, dude?
Well, just one that first, or the one question he asked about how do you value building, or how do you, I guess, weigh
balance
building through the
rebuilding.
draft, right, versus players that are already in the league, young players. 9 times out of 10, maybe not that much, 8 times out of 10, I probably want the young player that's produced, because I've seen them produce in the NFL, and the greatest predictor of future success in the NFL is past production in the NFL. And, you know, this year, again, that obviously would have kicked you square in the balls if you ended up trading away what turned out to be Malik Neighbors or Brian Thomas Jr., but such is life. You know what I mean? That's a rarity that you're going to get 3 wide receivers in one class that are now in the top 12 in Dynasty, for whatever that's worth, whatever Dynasty may be, like Cody mentioned today on Overreaction Pod or yesterday. Regarding, and then he says, you know, what else can he do besides moving old vets? Well, I think, you know, what players do you have that are appealing to other people? Because that's probably what people want to buy. Like, people don't want to buy your old vets. Like, go back to his roster for me, if you could, sir.
Yeah, 1 sec. So yeah, go ahead. There it is.
Yeah, I mean, like, so if I'm buying, do I have a lot of motivation to buy Wicks, Myers, Jennings, D-Hop? Like, those are all like last resort dudes, right? These are the type of dudes that probably end up staying on your roster till the end of the season, when all the other prettier items have been gone. Like, the shelves are bare and people are like, all right, I'll come back to you. Can you, and the problem with Dunze is he hasn't had a couple good games since Keenan Allen's been back, but you're in no rush because you're going to be bad. But like, if Dunze goes out there and has a few good games, can you get multiple picks for him? And do you have the discipline and to do that if that situation were to present itself? No one's going to want Golf or Herbert. Fields, no one's probably going to want him either, though I would be trying to sell him. But I don't want to talk about just selling the old people, because he already knows to try to do that.
I think I'll make one point on this. When you have a shallow league like this, where you don't care about the current production or what's going on with these assets, like, this is a sobering reality, but like a 4th rounder is better than Jacoby Myers. You know why? Because there's like a 0.5% chance that it turns into something exciting, and you know you have something that 100% of the time nothing can happen where it's exciting. Same with Hopkins, same with Jennings, probably same with Dobbins. Like, you might be able to get more than a 4th for some of these guys, but when someone says, here, I'll give you a 3rd for Dobbins, you immediately go, ooh, that's not enough. But it is enough. You know why? Because you're able to recycle something that will never be anything other than a can relative to this format. Think about that. It doesn't matter how many games Dobbins plays well. What is the outcome where it's going to help you? A 3rd helps you in a 10-teamer, because it's something different that next year it could be, I don't know, next year's Carson Steele, where there's a better chance within a week you can get a 2nd for it. Like, you have to think about it that way. You can't look at Jacoby Myers and go, well, Adams is going to get traded, he should be worth a 2nd. And then nobody in your league gives a 2nd. So then you ride him out to the end of the year, and then guess what he's not worth by the end of the year? Even a 3rd, because who wants Jacoby Myers in February? Nobody. So, like, take what you can get to recycle the stuff that you know is doing nothing but just sitting where it is. That's an underrated strategy in shallow leagues. And people go, oh, you know, a 3rd isn't valuable in a 10 by 10. You know what else isn't valuable? Players in that range. At least the 3rd has a 1% chance of being something exciting, or that you could tier up to another piece. Myers, you're never going to do that.
Good stuff. All right, let's keep cranking here. We've got 14 minutes left. God, I haven't even said hi to the crowd. How rude. We have 870 eyeballs, also known as 870 people watching us right now across the interwebs. Thank you so much. Hit that like if you'd be so kind. Easiest way to help out this channel, and check out the merch store that I mentioned before. It'll be link in the description. You can get a sweet hat like this one on my head. At least I think it's cool. I'm a homer. Let's go to 3 hammers from Fantasy Pep. Thank you very much. So this is a 10-team Superflex, half PPR. It's full PPR for the tight end, start 10. Scott, we'll go with you on this one. Mahomes, Purdy, Rodgers, Young at quarterback. Moss, Brian Robinson, Swift, Bucky Irving at running back. I'm sorry, let's add in Chase Brown to that. Nico, Marv, Neighbors, Waddle, BTJ, and then Kincaid and Andrews at tight end. 225 first, 225 seconds, no 26 first or second. Looking to get AJ Brown. The owner of AJ Brown is like 1-3, 104, has little draft capital. Thinking of trying to make a trade for him. Any other thoughts? Help is appreciated. And I was trying to save the characters. He's like, I have no idea what the trade would be yet, but he was looking at AJ Brown. So Scott, it's a 10-team Superflex, half PPR, full PPR for the tight end, start 10. So pretty shallow. What do you think here? What moves are you doing with this team? Let's keep it simple.
No 26 first. Got 225 first. Yeah, I think the problem is you don't really have a lot that's flexible here other than the pieces you probably don't want to move. But I would be interested in getting AJ Brown. I mean, hell, it's a 10 by 10. How risky do I want to get? Do I want to move Mahomes on this team? Am I willing to tier off of Mahomes to get somebody like AJ Brown? I don't know what my second quarterback looks like, but Shane, 10 by 10, AJ Brown and Geno Smith or Mahomes?
Yeah, AJ Brown.
In a 10-teamer. I mean,
AJ Brown.
That's the new, and I'm sure people are hearing that and going like, oh my God, that's such a low sell on it's Patrick Mahomes. But if you're willing to move them, shy of moving Nico, Marv, Neighbors, which you probably don't want to do. I mean, Waddle in a 26 first or 25 first for AJ Brown. I mean, I don't hate that. Can you trade Kincaid in a first for AJ Brown and just ride with Mark Andrews as Clay gets sick in a trash can off camera? No? You good, Clay?
I'm fired up about a text message right now, but don't worry about me.
Okay. I think point is, if you want to add AJ Brown here, you got to tap into something that probably is going to be a little uncomfortable. And that's probably leaning into, okay, I'm going to trade away Mahomes or I'm going to trade away Kincaid and rely on the less than stellar guys that I already have there. But I don't know. I really don't want to give up 225 first for AJ Brown on this team either.
Dude, I'd be trying to do Kincaid and Waddle.
Sure. But something like that, right? Where you're going to have to give up probably 2 things. And it's like, you're not going to get him by giving up stuff that you don't value, right? Like, you're not going to get him by giving up Bucky Irving and a first. Like, you can try that, but it's probably not.
And Andrews. Yeah. No.
Should we be looking at a running back in this format? I'm talking about a 10-team, half PPR, start 10. Doesn't this, like, I don't want to say scream running back, but that's how I look at it. And I look at this
what running back?
Well, I'm just saying, I look at this format and I look at my 225 first that I have in the hopper, and I'm assigning running back to those picks.
I'll give you Ken Walker for one of them. You doing it?
10 by 10? You should.
Actually, yeah, I like Ken Walker a lot. I like Ken Walker a lot, actually.
That's the kind of frivolous purchase that you make, and it's not going to feel good, but that could be.
It's so shallow. It's so shallow of format. You know, take shots like that, right?
And just also just try Brees. Just try him. I think most people are thinking along the lines that I am, that it's a good thing for him that Robert Saleh is out of there. I think there'll be a change, even though I don't know how much Saleh, probably absolutely nothing, had in the offensive game planning. Probably Aaron Rodgers didn't let him in the room. But I hope that they look at their offense, realize it's an absolute garbage fire, and focus on using Brees Hall a little more. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's a dry gutter bag that's been lit on fire.
Yeah, it's
a flammable
gutter bag that was taken into the bathroom and used accordingly right now. So Brees Hall, all that to say, Brees Hall is another guy that I'd be looking to buy right now.
Scott, we got 3 hammers from Groove. Thank you very much. This is a 12-team, 1 QB, PPR, no tight end premium, start 8. So again, it's a very shallow format here. Daniel Stroud at quarterback, Jonathan Taylor, Jacobs, Brooks, and Trash at running back, JJ, Nico, Marv, Ayuk, Wheelad, wide receiver, Wheelad Bakonki, I guess. I left it. I put this one together.
I like that,
I think it's a
actually.
Wheelad Bakonki, yeah. And Bowers at tight ends. All my picks plus an early second. It is a mid-activity league. Think I have a contender. Should I package my first and something or sit tight? Love the show, boys. You helped me turn this roster around. Hey, awesome. Appreciate you, Groove. Okay, so Scott, 12-team, 1 QB, start 8. Super shallow. Thinks it's a contender. What do you think? Should he package his first?
I mean, yeah, it's a 12-by-8, 1 QB. So if you can upgrade a skill player, you're trying to do it. You don't need an upgrade at quarterback. You don't need an upgrade at tight end. So you're literally just focused on wide receivers and running backs. Lad McConkey in a first. I think you can just start at the top and just propose trades and let people tell you decline, 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 decline. You're probably going to get down to the range of what can I target there, Shane? Can I get DK Metcalf for Lad McConkey in a first in a start 8?
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Like that feels like the type of receiver you're going to have to settle for, where you're betting that this guy can be top 12. Can I get DJ Moore? Like that's probably the type of player you're going to get. And it's not going to feel good, but like,
yes,
you know,
you might not even, I was just going to say, you might not even need to add a first to DJ Moore or Lad McConkey. You might not even need to add a first to him to get to DJ Moore, because people truly do not like DJ Moore for some reason.
Try the early second, but yeah. I think you have one shot. I'd start higher than obviously DJ Moore or DK Metcalf, but you're probably going to get turned down. Can you get Brian Thomas? A first and Lad McConkey for Brian Thomas. Like this is the type of team to take a shot that Brian Thomas is going to be just insanely good. You know, like that's the type of deal you have to make. Throw in the second if it takes that to get done. Save your other first to bail yourself out at running back. And if this team doesn't win, variance didn't go your way, man. You have a great roster.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, let's go to 5 hammers from BT242. Thank you very much. And the second part of this question is hilarious. Shane, start with you on this one. 12-team, 1 QB, start 9. Moving to Superflex next year, but staying a start 9. So it's going to be a 12-team Superflex start 9. A-Rich, T-Law, Purdy, and at quarterback, 10 backup running backs. Neighbors, London, Adunze, Tank Dell. And then there's Hawkinson at tight end. 125 first. 225 seconds and a 26 first. It says, I'm the depressed guy from last week without my first and a bad record. Great advice last week, though, to stay patient. But I got an inbox offer. Getting a 25 first, okay, so this is a lovely 25 first. Sorry, so getting his 25 first back, Waddle and Rice, but you're giving Purdy and Neighbors. Okay. So it's a 12-team, 1 QB, but it's turning to Superflex, start 9. Would be giving Purdy and Neighbors, would be getting his first back, Waddle and Rice.
I'm not giving up Purdy and Neighbors. Now his first will probably be the 101, 102, right? So for flexi purposes, sure, I guess you want the 101, but I'm not doing it. It feels like a lot of it feels like false hope with Waddle and Rice. Like they could both be elite. Well, Waddle, I think we've given up on that dream, but Rice could come back and be elite, and then the trade doesn't look bad. But the fact you're also giving up Purdy, which again, Purdy is your best quarterback. I don't know why he's listed 3rd. Can I do T-Law instead? Can I do T-Law and Neighbors?
I think we're getting into a player preference. The reason I would do this trade is
I'm doing it.
Here's why I do it. The 101 next year, you have to assume at least a 50% chance it's on the track to be Malik Neighbors, Jamar Chase. Like the way rookies hit, when you have your choice, it's hard to not hit on it.
But I mean,
Here's the thing, Shane. You're getting credit for a quarterback when the league already knows you have too many of them. That's the other key thing. You're getting credit.
Is the existing room, A-Rich, T-Law, and Purdy makes me
too many of them
to do it.
You have too many of them right now. And literally 10 minutes ago when we were discussing, or I was discussing, like, would I rather take a shot on a rookie or would I rather go with someone that's done it in the league? Now, obviously, it's 4 games from like neighbors, but there's still a little bit of track record there. And again, like what he's done, record breaking, blah, blah, blah. I don't feel like talking about it because it's tiring at this point, but I know he hit, you know what I mean? Like there's very little chance that he's not going to continue to hit the rest of this year and be, what's he, the wide receiver 2 in Dynasty? That's my only thinking. Not that the 101 would not be a great pick, because you're looking at what, I don't know, whoever the quarterback 1 is, and then 400 running backs that are all really good. Or Chet McMillan, or, you know what I mean, Luther Burden, whatever, whoever it is. So now that I talk about this a little more, I will take the 101 Rice and Waddle. Make that deal.
Well, no, but
whatever.
Shane,
you talk yourself through it, man.
If someone says they're going to give you the guaranteed 101 and Rashid Rice, who again was a top 8 receiver 2 weeks ago from Malik Neighbors.
No, I'll do it. Yeah.
And now it's a third QB for Waddle, who, I mean, when Tua is healthy, Waddle is startable in a start 9. He's not great, but he's not a dog asset. You know, like this is actually a very fair deal. And this is how you get your first back. And if you hold somebody's first, I sent out an exact offer like this today, where I hold a team that's guaranteed to be almost the 101. But this is the type of return I need. You know what I mean? I need Brock Purdy and Malik Neighbors. There is no low balling. You're going to make a square deal with me that I'm sure this team getting Neighbors and Purdy is sitting pretty when they get those 2. You know what I mean? Like they're getting credit for Rashid Rice and a draft pick that they can't use till next year. They're probably the championship contender after this deal, but it really helps your squad as well. Like that's what one of these deals look like. Both teams have to acknowledge the situation and see the value in it. I'm glad you walked through that, Shane, because I think initially you were like, no, but.
And then also,
it's a sharp league too. You can tell, like that's a very sharp trade. Go ahead.
And when Tua comes back and Waddle's producing again, I can't believe I'm sorry for everything I've ever said about Tua, by the way. As someone that has Tyreek on multiple rosters, I apologize immensely. Tua is a great quarterback. When Waddle starts producing, because we know he's capped, right? But someone in your league, he's going to have a spike week. It's going to happen. Someone's going to get all erected about it and think that this is what he is now. And you'll be able to sell him for another first plus probably. So yeah, you know, the more we talk through it, the more I like the deal.
Let me just say this, Clay, because I can take some time. We can do another video and hit out some of the hammers we didn't get to. But if you know your pick is the 101, like this team, and you don't have it and you want it back, if I hold your pick, I want Jamar Chase. I want Malik. I'm going to the top. You're not going to get it back by selling me your Waddle and your T-Law. Yeah, it's going to be your best asset. Even if I have to add a little bit, I want the best asset. If I am giving you back your 101, which now you can control and make it the 101. So like the team that's making the offer here, exactly what you should ask for. And if they say no, oh, well, the deal doesn't get done. I'll find somebody else to trade Rashid Rice to in this top 2, top 1 pick next year. Someone will do it.
Exactly. There was a league where I won't mention his name. Whatever. I'll say Blaze. He was like, what is it gonna cost me to get my 26 first back? And you could tell by looking at his team. Well, first off, maybe that's not the best way to approach someone being like, man, my team is hot garbage. What is it going to cost to get it back? But I told him, I looked at his roster and it had Rashid Rice and Garrett Wilson. And I was like, that's like the minimum in terms of like value in like a vacuum or what have you. Like that's a starting conversation. It's going to require a stud, like you said, Scott. It has to hurt. You know, it has to be a piece that a rebuilder would like too. So anyway, okay. Evan G, thank you for the super chat. We have a record of 1-4. Kyler, CJ Stroud at quarterback, Brooks, Benson, Bigsby, Tracy at running back, Marv, Neighbors, BTJ, Olave, Rome, T and JSN, at wide receiver, Pitts at tight end. 225 first, no seconds, 226 firsts and seconds. He says, thanks. So, yeah, we don't have like a question. Let's just talk about, Shane, what are you doing with this team? Yeah. Do we have a format? Do we have a format? Is there another part to this maybe?
Fantasy football.
Format's fantasy football. So I'm just gonna say it is a 10-team. Gosh, it could be a 1 QB with just 2 quarterbacks, but let's go 10-team Superflex start 10. Shane, that's your team. The wide receivers are stupid.
I'm just going back to make sure I didn't miss anything. No, FLUFF did not give us any further information. So we're going 10 by 9, 12 by 9.
And Evan's in the chat. Evan, is it a super flex or not? Yeah. He's in the chat. He just posted 30 seconds ago. Is it a super flex or not?
Here it says context. Here we go. I got it. It is a 12-team start 10 PPR 1.5 for the tight end 6 point.
He still doesn't say if it's super flex though. I assume it is, but
he said that in the first part, I believe. I think it's like it's kind of like we're playing Clue. You know what I mean?
You just said
okay. Now here,
done. Super flex.
Yeah, super flex. 12 by 10, 1.5 tight end premium, 6 point passing touchdown. He made a lot of moves. Bottom 4 pick this year. There's a lot of competitive teams. Any necessary moves or waited out? Could you go back to his team now?
Yeah, we'll do. So where is it? Of course, I'm like, oh yeah, Johnny on the spot. Here it is.
Thank you. So you've got Kyler and CJ. So your quarterback room, I would say, is fine. Brooks, Benson, Bigsby, Tracy, Harrison. No, I mean, look at your wide receiver room, dude, bro. That's
stupid, yeah.
Dude, if you started Bigsby and Tracy this week, you scored like 30 points. So there you go.
Literally, like your team's Kyler, CJ, Bigsby, Tracy, then Marvin Harrison, Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., Olave is your wide receiver 4, as much as I'm pissed off at him right now, is fine. You've got JSN, who I don't like, but is scoring at least 13 points a game, roughly 13 points a game. So we're very excited because he's a wide receiver 3. Good job, JSN. You've got Rome, who's got a lot of cachet to him. If anything, can I consolidate some of the 1, 2, 3, 4 of my back end wide receivers? Can I upgrade from CJ to Jaden Daniels if I want to get funky with it? You know what I mean? That's really all I'm looking at to do. But you're 1 and 4, but your team is really nice. So there's not an impetus to move anything. I would say if you wanted to move Bigsby and Tracy, go for it because they're running backs, and that's.
Can I sell Rome for Saquon on this team and just live with it? That's my anchor running back. I'll ride with T and Olave. Yeah. I'll just start them every week. And, Neighbors, Marv, Brian Thomas Jr., my quarterbacks, Pitts, they're going to carry me. If they don't, they don't. But this team can
this
smash.
This is a team you can buy a playoff
run,
no doubt
this
about
team,
it.
If I could find the weekly tank Bigsby and Tyrone Tracy, I would literally play the week-to-week buy running back game on this team. And just roll with everything else and live with the results. Now,
really? Yeah, and not even spend your first, Scott?
You
try not to, obviously.
You don't have the assets to buy the weekly Tyrone Tracy every single week because it's going to be different players. But I think the idea being, I have some teams like this where I benefited from Tyrone Tracy and Tank Bigsby. You know why? Because I didn't have anybody else. So I'm like, shit, I got to start those guys. And I get lucky because I had them. But if you had 10 of those guys, we don't know what the rest of his roster is, but he might have a Trey Sermon sitting around there. He might have this guy or that guy. They can maybe fill 1 spot a week for the rest of the season. So that's why I said, if you can buy an anchor running back, kind of take the hit, move T Higgins for a running back or JSN for a running back or Rome for a running back, live with it. What I don't want to do is pay the sticker price for a non-running back that I'm going to have to worry about in 3 weeks is going to be gone. Like Evie Diz says in the chat, Chuba Hubbard. That's great, but I don't want to buy Chuba Hubbard right now because he's going to cost me. Someone's going to go, here, I'll give you Chuba Hubbard. You got to give me JSN. It's like I'm firing an asset that's probably not a good deal. So just patchwork it together, man. A league like that, if it's an active day trading league, dude, every one of our leagues, you can buy Kareem Hunt for a third. You know what I mean? And the benefit is you have to start him because you don't have anybody else. That'll get you to at least the semifinals. Then you'll get crushed by the team that has Saquon and Kyron Williams, but like it'll get you there, you know? So decide when you want to make that big move, but you don't got to do it right now.
Dynasty is amazing. When Shane and I the other day, we completed a trade. I gave Alex Madison and I got a 26 third. I was like, how beautiful is Dynasty football, man?
Dude, in one of our leagues, I've been trying to sell Kareem Hunt for 2 weeks. Oh man, he's going to get a shot, right? First quarter last night, I put a message, Kareem Hunt, any third. Within 8 seconds, he's traded. But that is the kind of deal. If you have people like me and Shane, like, dude, if I'm not in it or I'm not starting Kareem Hunt this week, you offer me a third, he's yours. I don't care if you're the other playoff team. Who gives a shit?
Nope.
I'll find another guy like that next week when I need him.
Love it. Your mom is a screensaver. Got us
his screensaver, actually, specifically his.
Your mom is my screensaver.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So Scott, we will go with you on this one. Best ball, 12-team Superflex, start 11, 6 points per passing touchdown, not PPR, and it's a point per first down. We don't know the roster size, but Scott, what, 12-team start 11? Let's assume it's 29, 30-man rosters.
28 to 30.
Yeah. Herbert, T-Law at quarterback. Rashid White, Hubbard at running back. Marv, Pittman, Downs, Addison at wide receiver. Kelsey and Trash at tight end. My picks plus 3 late firsts, an extra 26 firsts. All the rest of the picks. Need a game plan. Team is ass. Okay, 12-team Superflex, start 11, 6 point per passing touchdown. I know you don't love Herbert and T-Law as the only 2 quarterbacks right off the bat. Didn't list any backups, but go ahead.
Yeah, but in best ball, I'm fine with Herbert and T-Law. I just probably need to next year get like another Herbert and T-Law to go with those guys. But there's no reason to try to move those guys unless you can get leverage. Meaning, do I get another quarterback at a first? Can I trade T-Law for JJ McCarthy in a first? Something like that. If I can't, then I'm just keeping those guys. Everything else can go other than obviously the core pieces, like probably keeping Marvin Harrison. Someone like Addison I will keep unless I can move him for another asset. But here's the key with best ball. Here's how you rebuild a best ball team. You get the stuff off your team. You roster all the stuff that nobody else wants to roster in best ball. If I'm rebuilding a best ball team, you know what I'm carrying? Every backup quarterback. You know why? Because Shane, who are you going to want if you're contending in best ball? You're going, damn, can I pick up Malik Willis off waivers? Like in most best ball leagues, those guys are out there because nobody wants to hold the backup that's only going to start twice. So I become the farm team that's carrying all the shitty backups that nobody would ever want to roster on a contending best ball team. And I become the farm team for all the backup running backs and the quarterbacks that get opportunity. That's how you rebuild a best ball team.
Feeder. You were the feeder.
Yeah,
I thought you said foreign. I thought he said foreign at first. I was trying to put together how that related.
Farm team.
Farm makes sense. Yes. Farm team makes sense.
They did. You get a Jake Hayner, you get an Aiden O'Connell, you get a Malik Willis, you get a Joe Flacco and Andy Dalton. If you had all those guys, you're just racking in the thirds.
Mm-hmm.
And in best ball, guess what somebody's willing to buy? Andy Dalton, because he probably has shots where he's going to hit your lineup because it's best ball.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, that is our last super chat of the evening, and yes, we have a few outstanding hammers, but you heard Scott. We will jump on and knock those out. We will take care of those. Thank you so much for donating them. Excuse me. Buymeacoffee.com/trades5 is where you can get your question answered on a stream. Super chats. Super chats we did. I'm still again looking at your mom as my screensaver. Hit that like if you'd be so kind. Easiest way to help out this channel. That's bye from me. Shane, Scott. Bye. Thoughts?
Appreciate everybody. It's been a already week.
Marathon.
It's already week freaking 6.
Yeah.
I'll just say this. Enjoy the weekly like cadence of the season where you get the lead up to the games and you set your lineups and you get Thursday night football and then you get the weekend and then you get Sunday and Monday night. Like it seems like a grind until it's gone, and then you're missing football. You know what I mean? For 7 months when there's no football. So just enjoy the weekly dynamics of injuries and all that kind of stuff. I mean, just enjoy it because it'll be gone quick.
And then you'll be sad inside and lonely and looking for something to give your life meaning, and you won't have it. So yeah, enjoy football. So no, that's all. Thanks.
That's a good way to end it. All right, I'm going to end this stream. We will see you soon. Cheers.
Later all.